All right. So after my last video, if you haven't seen my last video on what is trauma and how does it impact the body and what does it have to do with autoimmune, then I would suggest that you go back and watch that. And but you don't have to understand what I'm about to say. Maybe, I don't know. But it's a really, really good foundation for you to have moving forward as you listen to these videos and start to really understand how chronic illness and autoimmune accumulate and manifest in the body through trauma and traumatic experiences that we might have. So you might be asking, well, what do I do? A lot of us, when we're hit with this information that trauma isn't just serious abuse and it's not just, like every time we stubbed our toe and we weren't allowed to cry or release or express pain or anything like that, it's a trauma that's held in the body. Like that information can kind of feel overwhelming maybe. Because it's like, well, then there's like thousands of things I need to release from my body, right? And I don't want that to feel overwhelming. And I want to make sure that I give you really clear steps on how to work with the body and why working with the body is more effective than working with the mind when we come to understand trauma. So, all right, train of thought. So when we're talking about trauma, okay, and how it's held in the body and all these things that we may have experienced that accumulated in the system and sort of shrunk our capacity, right? What we want is to unpack from that bucket that we have that's overflowed. Because when that bucket overflows or when that pool overflows, maybe we have too many. Irene Lyon does the analogy, which I love, of beach balls. All these beach balls, each one in this swimming pool, and it's tight. There's no space, right? So you got to take some of those beach balls out so that we have space to like swim around and our system feels like it can take on the world in a difficult world that it is. So we do need space to live and function and breathe and enjoy life. We don't want to be living in a cocoon of this. So many people that I know will claim that they don't have trauma or that they don't have any issues or whatever it is, and they are riddled with fear of the outside world. I mean, this is definitely a symptom of trauma and small capacity, small windows of tolerance, as we would say. But just sticking to those of us who know we have chronic symptoms and know we have, or autoimmune, maybe we've been diagnosed, maybe we haven't. The first thing that we want to do is learn to feel again. So why is feeling important? Well, I'll just speak from my own experience. I started experiencing symptoms. I had some trauma, early childhood trauma. And so I taught myself at a young age to dissociate from my body. And what does that mean? That means your mind goes to somewhere different than what you're actually experiencing the present moment. And we would see this manifest in kids as like daydreaming or like spacing out. Of course, I was diagnosed with ADD when I was like 12 or whatever. But this dissociation or sort of detachment stuff started happening when I was like 5 or 6. And looking back, once I understood this, when I look back on my childhood, first of all, I do not have much memory of my childhood at all. At all. Little blurs, little specks of memory about things here and there, but I mean, very, very sparse and incomplete. But when I think back on certain things that I did and certain actions that I took and things, I can understand now why I did things that I did, because I was not understanding and present in my body and the experience that I was having. I was like very detached from reality. And so a lot of us, we do this, not a lot of us, if we have this type of pattern going on, our body does this to protect us. And so I want to be clear, like in all of my videos and everything that I teach, that your body is not faulty. It does not do these things because there's something wrong or broken. It's doing these things because it wants to protect. I'm getting teary-eyed. It's doing these things because it's trying to protect you, because something in your environment wasn't safe at some point along the way. And so in order for you to survive, as a little one especially, you had to do this with your mind, because otherwise the reality of the situation that you were living in was too hard. And your body couldn't take all of that. So we developed this pattern of dissociating. And when we do that, we stop actually being in the present moment. And we stop actually experiencing the feelings of what is happening in our body. Even if we experience something really difficult, like a trauma, and the feeling in our body is, let's say we were neglected by our caregiver. The feeling of abandonment in the body actually hurts the body. You know what I mean? Like when someone, or if somebody passes away, and you go through extreme grief, or maybe all of us have experienced a really, really hard breakup. The body actually hurts. You feel it in your physiology. This is something that I did not understand for a long time. When I really understood this, I understood why working with the somatic body was direct. It was a direct, more efficient way of working with these traumas and experiences and symptoms. So the first step, so most of us, if we have this symptom, right, of dissociation, or it can also feel like brain fog. It can also feel kind of like you're floating, like, you know what I mean? Like you're here, but like you're not here. I used to have this in conversation a lot, where I would be listening to a person and I would like not be there. It's like really bizarre now thinking back. And a lot of us actually, so let's just say that, so this, because there's so many layers. Okay, so this is not, it's not only, it doesn't only happen that way. It happens many ways. Let's say that you are experiencing a physical pain in your body. You don't have much dissociation, but let's say autoimmune has accumulated in your body for some other root cause reason, and your actual physical body hurts. Let's say you were exposed to toxic chemicals or heavy metals a lot, and it got into the tissues and the bones of your body and your joints, and your body hurts badly. And let's say you don't really have so much so much, like fear of abandonment and these sort of emotional types of, root causes, or you had really healthy attachment with your caregiver. But you had this experience with these chemicals and your body hurts. You could then, because the feeling of the body still, again, going back to that feeling, that sense, it hurts, it doesn't feel good, so you dissociate. At that point, maybe later, maybe it doesn't have anything to do with early childhood trauma at all. Another example actually would be like myself. I had the early childhood trauma. I started dissociating when I was 5. When I was around 10 or 11, I started experiencing progressed autoimmune and chronic symptoms in my body. Body aches and pains, joint aches and pains. And I think even some digestive issues as well. My body started to not feel good, and I started dissociating even more. So I had it as a root cause, and then it got even worse as my pain in my body increased. I dissociated even more. It actually reinforced that dissociation because I was like, oh, I can't trust you. You don't feel good. And it's almost like that just came to this awareness now. There is like a blame. We tend to, a lot of us tend to like blame ourselves, right? Because it's like we're given this theory that like the body's attacking itself too, which reinforces this whole belief that like our body is faulty, which is not true. Not true, not true. Erasing yourself from this theory is the first step to healing, I will say. Because the body would never attack you. The body doesn't do that. The body protects you. So I started dissociating more when my physical symptoms increased. But then I wasn't treated properly. And so, or diagnosed properly, I should say. And I was put on stimulant attention deficit medications and like antidepressants and stuff. Well, those things masked the symptoms. So I didn't really feel anything. I completely numbed out and came out of my body even more. Again, reinforcing that my body isn't safe. I need this pill. I have a chemical imbalance. My body I was born just wrong. And I have to have now chemicals and some other form of whatever it is, big pharma stuff to fix me. Again, reinforcing that belief that the body is somehow wrong and not doing things for us and against us. So for all of these reasons, learning to feel and sense our natural impulses of our body is the first step to healing. And so what does this look like? Well, it looks like throughout your day, going to the bathroom when you feel the sensation that you need to go to the bathroom. Like it really is this simple. When you are sitting here listening to this video, taking a moment and noticing how your body feels on the chair under you and what your feet feel like on the floor. I'm doing this right now. Noticing when you're sitting on the couch, maybe at the end of your day, and your stomach starts growling because you're hungry. Noticing that sensation that's going on in your body. And there's a distinction to be made that is important. It took me a long time to figure this out, but we can think intellectually, I'm hungry. My stomach is making a sound, and so I intellectually know I need to eat. That oftentimes is not enough for us to actually follow that impulse to eat. Or maybe it is, right? But that's actually not feeling the sensation of hunger. So there's a difference between understanding that you need to eat because your stomach is growling and actually feeling the sensation of your stomach growling. So the first step to healing, and this is a small step, and it's the only step I'm going to give you in this video, because part of healing is going in these baby steps, is following these body cues and impulses that your body is telling you, I need this, I need that. These are also extremely important and potent affirmations that you are taking care of your body, which is healing in and of itself. And the first step that we all have to take to heal, because it is reinforcing and dismantling and deprogramming this belief that your body is not on your side. So this is that it's almost like we are building and growing a relationship with our body again. And we're saying to our body, I trust you. If you are giving me this feeling, right? A true feeling of hunger, or a true feeling that I have to go to the bathroom, or a true feeling that I need to, it could be anything intuitive, friends. Like a feeling that I need to stay in tonight. I don't need to go to this party, or maybe vice versa. I have a feeling that I need to get out of my house. I have this, right? It's a sense. Now that does cross over a little bit intuition and felt sense. There are some nuanced differences in that, but it still is a feeling in the body. I still go back to when I have an intuitive hit about something, like even when I'm working with a client and I'm doing some channeling work. If I have a question about something that's coming in, a message, I go into the feeling of my body to give me confirmation on that direction. So the yes feels expansive and free and open. The no feels tight. So we're crossing over a little bit into intuitive development, but intuitive development and following your impulse are very closely linked. I would say the first step is those vital survival, eating, going to the bathroom, nourishing, tending to yourself. This is a good one. Tending to your body temperature. I'm hot. I'm going to take off a sweater. I'm cold. I'm going to put on a sweater. My feet are cold, not just walking around all day with your feet cold, but actually warming them up. Waking up in the morning cold, let's say you're cold, and you drink a smoothie every morning. Well, maybe it's time to eat something warm in the morning. Maybe your body is actually saying, I'm cold. I want warmth. And so starting with a cup of ginger tea. Ginger's super warming internally. Or warm applesauce with cinnamon, which is also, or ginger, both, I don't know if you guys eat grains, but oatmeal, or, if you're carnivores, then, even something warm, eggs, something cooked instead of that smoothie or that juice. Maybe waiting till midday till you're nice and warm to drink that juice. These are all impulses of the body. This is all learning how to feel your body again. But it's deeper than just feeling your body. It's trusting your body. Trusting your body. Okay? And their impulses. Super important. I hope you guys understand and that you liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. And I will see you here again very soon.